My list bait. So this section was originally called "What the Bleep Have You Done for the Label?" Now, what the bleep have you done for the label this week?
Chris is here running the podcast.
She's here. She
Yeah.
doesn't run the podcast. She keeps telling me she doesn't run the podcast.
I keep you on track. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's right. We have to get contracts together.
See
We
that
got.
face?
Yes.
Like,
I've got.
Yeah, there's
I've got
definitely
3 people.
Can I
we
get
need
past
to,
this week first?
No, we got to get it done this weekend, please. Tomorrow.
It's not happening this weekend. I can
Well-
promise you, it's not happening this weekend.
Fine,
What's
but we
gonna
got to get it
happen?
going. So, label business. Originally, I planned for this podcast to basically be like a public business meeting about what's going on, right? Because I like being transparent. It's like, yeah, I'm not selling that many records right now. Please go buy some. I have download cards coming. That'll be cool. We just got the website set up, but that's what
Website
I've
is
been doing
awesome.
for the
Yeah.
label this week is we got GetOffMyLawnRecords.com set up.
Yes.
Now this is still going to have the Bandcamp because I screwed that up. But so right below us it'll still say GetOffMyLawnRecords.bandcamp, but also GetOffMyLawnRecords.com is live. Bandcamp is the way where you can go listen and
yeah, one of my
and
favorite
enjoy the
bands
music.
uses Bandcamp still, and they're
I love
relatively,
Bandcamp.
yeah, they're pretty successful.
Yeah.
So I think Bandcamp's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so go check out what we're doing because I'm putting out 12 albums in the next year because I'm a maniac.
Is that like you already have the material for that, or is this a ambitious goal that you hope to achieve?
We're gonna talk about that in the next session. I've got
Oh.
the
Jumping
the board.
ahead, I'm sorry. I didn't read the
No.
whiteboard, I swear.
I got that board. So, but that's why this was originally what the bleep have you done for the label, right? Because ideally I'd have a team of people here who are helping me. So
Ideally, you'd have a team of people who don't have lives outside of helping you.
yeah, that's true.
But,
So if anybody wants to come help, I could use an intern. So
or 5.
or 5. Well, I could keep a team of 5 interns busy,
Yes.
and then if we could make enough
I
money, I could pay
hear
them.
there's going to be some former Vine employees
Oh.
that are available.
Oh, too soon.
Yikes.
Too soon. So anyway, and then I was trying these like top 5 lists, but nobody seems to want to improvise a top 5 list off the top of their head. So I said, Steven suggested we should talk about things a little more in depth. So, 5 things you miss about Canada. Canada, not top 5, just 5 things. Caitlin, what's your first one you miss most about Canada?
Oh, man. Heritage Minutes.
What are heritage minutes?
Oh, nice. Good choice. Not the first one I thought of.
This is in no particular order, I would say. Yeah, Heritage Minutes are. I think it was to fulfill Canadian content
Oh, for
laws.
sure. Yeah, it's like
What are Canadian content laws?
So, by law, well, Canada, as you know, is
Yes.
right next to the U.S., and we speak English as one of our official languages.
Right.
So we consume a lot of U.S. Media, like television shows, movies,
We make great
music.
television shows and movies and
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
So, but, Canadians have a distinct identity, or we try to.
attempt to. Yeah.
And so part of that, the government decided that for like television, radio, and also film, you have to show a certain amount of, or air a certain amount of Canadian content per year. So Heritage Minutes were designed to take up, they're literally like a minute long.
Okay.
And they're about Canadian heritage
Some
and
sort of great moment in Canadian history.
great moments in Canadian history. And
And if it was an American Heritage Minute, we'd have a whole group of people crying at government propaganda.
yeah, so and it's that many of them are have like pretty famous Canadian actors involved. There's things like there's the one about the Halifax explosion is great.
Yeah.
And you can go around to Canadians of a certain age and yell out things like, "I smell burnt toast," and everyone will know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Now I sound like a crazy person because this is the U.S., but if you Google Heritage Minute burnt toast, I promise it's very entertaining.
And probably the only people that will be searching for this
Also
video
very
are Canadians.
educational.
Well, I think, exactly. They're very educational, and they're really well done, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. So,
And there was one recently that was very controversial about Cheney Wenjack and Canada's residential school history of basically kidnapping and forcing Indigenous children to assimilate into white Canadian culture. And so Gord Downey of Tragically Hip fame has come out with his most recent project called The Secret Path, which is about this one First Nations kid, Cheney Wenjack, who ran away from residential school and ended up dying trying to get home. And he's released an album and he's collaborated with an illustrator. They released a whole book about this, and there's also a new Heritage Minute about it.
See, I knew about the book and the album. I did not know about the Heritage Minute.
Yeah.
You know, we have
I
a
actually
whole
didn't know they were
shout-out
still doing
section.
them, so that's cool.
We're gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mike,
so
what is the
Heritage
first Heritage Minutes? Mike's what's one of the top 5 things
So you
missed?
asked, and immediately I knew my answer, and
Yeah.
now I immediately regret my answer because I'm like, man, mine is it's so like
That's okay.
shallow.
It's
compared
okay.
to It's so
Doesn't matter.
deep and just I
my
love it.
my second one is Timbits.
That's what I was gonna say.
All right, I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith, so I know what Timbits are. Explain to everybody what a Timbit is.
It's essentially like it's a donut hole, or I think you American call it donut.
We call
hole.
them
It's like-
donut holes.
Yeah. So like for me, Timbits and
And why are they called
And-
Timbits?
well, so you get them at Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
And, Tim
it's like
Hortons- is it-
Dunkin' Donuts or
No.
or Shipley's. Or,
No.
First of all,
You go, you get donuts, you get coffee. They sell
It's
donuts
not.
and coffee.
It's a whole other.
it's
thing.
a cultural
It's a community
yeah,
center.
like 50 years from now, there will be heritage.
Are there
minutes
like
about
80-year-old
Tim
guys
Hortons.
playing
The donut.
dominoes?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, but it's also like a place that's very like. I mean, I remember in high school, it was where we all used to hang out. So it's
So now, did Degrassi High, was their after-school hangout, was that Tim Hortons?
No, because they were in Toronto.
Okay.
At least I know on the new Degrassi, they had like a sort of more of a hip coffee shop that they hung
Yeah.
out in.
Oh,
Right.
so this is like the unhip coffee shop.
It's the everyday.
it's the working man's, like quote unquote. It's like the blue collar kind of like you can just go there. Like you've got
we don't have that here,
essentially,
do
yeah.
we?
Well,
Is
I mean,
what's
I guess,
the American equivalent?
I suppose like it would be the equivalency, to use yours.
Starbucks.
Would
No.
no. That's
No,
the
no.
posh one. I was gonna say to use
Oh.
your equivalency, it'd be like, I guess, for lack of better reference, it would be like Dunkin' Donuts versus Starbucks.
Right, 'cause-
you've got Starbucks, which is like posh and hip and
has
cool.
espresso drinks. Although
Yeah.
now Tim Hortons has.
They
some-
do too.
Oh,
yeah.
Tim Hortons was just like cup of coffee.
Well,
Yeah.
and then like
Okay.
I remember when they branched out and started offering food like chili in a bread bowl, and you can get sandwiches there. And
Their
so-
sandwiches and their chili are actually not terrible.
yeah, no, it's good. So Tim Hortons in general, like for me, and I know that Caitlin disagrees, so I was gonna say Timbits, but I was also gonna say the double double.
That's to me that means the thing from In-N-Out Burger. What's the double double?
So double double is a particular coffee that you order at Tim Hortons, and I know most people might immediately jump to, oh, that's double cream, double sugar, but that's not in fact true, because if you get an extra small double double or an extra large double double, it tastes the same, and I'm relatively certain that it's like laced with cocaine or something. Sorry, Tim Hortons, but because that stuff is like I just hook it to my veins. Like I could drink it all day, every day, and when I first got down here, I had the shakes.
Yeah.
Like, I was missing it.
It's
So.
and they have like so it does refer to the cream and sugar ratio.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can do a single double, you can do a triple single, you can do a triple double, but the double double is like
Is the go-to.
is the go-to,
yeah.
and it's this like automated thing that squirts out the cream and the milk and the sugar syrup stuff.
Sugar.
So-
It's like sugar water,
Yeah,
essentially.
sugar
Like,
water.
Sugar water.
So that's
Yeah.
why it tastes the same no matter what size
Yeah.
you're getting, because they control the proportion.
Yeah, so that it's the equivalency is the same. Yeah, I do remember when McDonald's first opened up their McCafe,
right.
in at least on the West Coast here. I remember it opened up. It was they gave their like free coffee on Wednesday or whatever it was, and it was not very popular because Tim Hortons is so ingrained into the culture of Canada. I mean, Starbucks tailors to a different market, so they're able to exist.
Okay.
But pretty much everybody else will just get squashed by Tim Hortons.
This
Kind of
just
like
sounds like
kind of
Dunkin'
like trying to
Donuts
be
me.
a new grocery store trying to move into like Texas or at least Austin
Yeah.
area. Like you'd have HEB would just push you out. HEB is so ingrained in Texas culture as for a grocery store. Tim Hortons is so a part of the Canadian culture in general.
Like
But-
I have lived in places, I don't know if this is true for you, but where there will be an intersection of 4 streets, and there will be a Tim Hortons on one corner and a Tim Hortons kitty corner as well. Like they're just everywhere.
So
That's
I've never
the
yeah, I've
joke
never
we tell
had
about Starbucks. I was at a Starbucks and I came out the street, and on the other side, it was a Lewis Black joke. And lo and behold, there's another Starbucks across the street.
So I've never seen that for Tim Hortons, but that's not only a joke for Starbucks because it's closed down just like a year or two ago. But just on the corner of Thurlow and Burrard in Vancouver, there was literally a Starbucks kitty corner, like literally
Starbucks?
Yeah, from a Starbucks.
Now, who
and
were
it
they
was like
catering
it was,
to? The
well, I mean,
Alzheimer's
it was
patient?
literally in the heart of downtown Vancouver. So there was literally lines outside of the doors for both. So it financially it made sense, I guess. But to circle back, to
Underserved area.
so
I guess.
I remember the McCafe opened up, didn't do well,
Right.
closed down, and I remember they opened up like 6 months later after their initial foray into it, and they opened it back up, and their coffee was a mirror image of Tim Hortons coffee. Like it tasted exactly the same.
Like somebody
And-
bought a bunch of Tim Hortons double
yeah,
doubles
and you could
just
walk
worked it out.
in to McDonald's and say, "Can I get a double double?" And they gave you a thing that tasted exactly like a Tim Hortons double double.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
Get the
I
Canadian market.
still only went to Tim Hortons with the exception of the free coffee days at McDonald's. Then I'd go to McDonald's because
Yeah.
it was free.
Now,
I
do you
remember-
still go to McDonald's here because they got the
I was
weekend
actually
days?
just about to touch onto that.
Yeah.
So, moved down here. I'm here for 2 days, and I immediately start missing my coffee. And I had it in my head that I had, married McDonald's coffee with a double type. So I went to a McDonald's down here, and I asked for a double, and they had no idea what I was talking about. So I said, "Oh, okay. Well, just give me some sugar and cream, and give me your coffee, and give me black coffee." And it's not at all the same. It's the equivalent of whatever it was McDonald's had first opened up with in Canada when they tried it out. So sadly, it doesn't work out. And I do buy Tim Hortons coffee. I have Tim Hortons coffee at home right now.
You like import it?
Yeah, you can actually buy the K-Cups. You can buy at like Bed Bath & Beyond now.
Really?
Yeah, you can. And actually, and this is a hats off to H-E-B here in Texas. If you bring in a barcode for a Tim Hortons product, and you go to the manager at Tim Hortons, or sorry, at H-E-B, at least the one on Riverside in downtown, he will order it for you. He said just because I talked with him then, and he had said just bring me the barcode and I can get in, and so they can
So can we
get
bring
in.
barcodes for
Nice.
like Timbits?
Well, I don't know about the Timbits, but
Yeah.
you can get Tim Hortons coffee still. Now the unfortunate thing is that I have not yet mastered their ratio of sugar and cream, so I have not been able to make a double. But
Maybe
nevertheless-
somebody in the comments will have the recipe.
Yeah. I also really like their steeped tea.
Mhm, mhm.
So-
Steeped tea.
Mhm.
See, the tea thing I think is the fact that just Canada was a British colony forever.
Yeah, because nobody in America drinks tea.
Yeah, that's something
No.
Yeah,
we've
it's-
talked about before.
We're American.
There's no tea culture.
We drink
here.
beer.
Didn't you guys have the biggest tea party ever?
Yeah, that was kind of the point.
They did $1 million of damage. They destroyed $1 million of tea at the Boston Tea Party.
That would've
Nobody was ever prosecuted. Huh.
Hmm.
So, all
And they're
right.
still out there?
I know. so clearly Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
Tim Hortons
Tim
is-
Hortons.
Which is why my answer was so shallow. What do you miss?
No.
I miss heritage minutes, learning about our culture. It's something. What do you miss, Mike? I miss donuts and coffee.
that was literally the next thing I was gonna say.
All right.
Donuts.
So, Caitlin, what's number 3? What do you miss?
There's
What do you miss about Canada?
I miss fall.
Oh,
Yeah, but we get that in
Yeah.
America.
For a
half
day.
the,
Not here.
Not in
Not
Texas. No.
yeah.
Yeah, the CBC. I miss the CBC.
The
You
Canadian
can still get that.
Broadcasting Corporation?
Yeah.
Is that where you watch Degrassi? I've
I've
never seen it.
I miss CBC News. I feel like the news is just different.
I follow
It's-
CBC on
You
Facebook. so
Yeah,
feel
I
like
do
the
too.
news isn't lying to you?
Well, it's not necessarily that, but there's a measure of calm that does not exist in the U.S. cable news.
Everything
Oh.
is so just hyperbolic.
The
Yeah.
thing in your kitchen that might be killing you. Film at 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What I miss.
All
I
right, so
guess
number
my-
4. Go
okay,
ahead. What do you
so
miss?
number 4, I guess, is something that you probably maybe wouldn't be able to touch base with because it's more like I miss the Pacific Ocean. I miss the celebration of light. It's the most attended.
The what?
The celebration of light is the most attended festival in Canada. Actually, I just found this out. I
Is
knew it was big.
Is it bigger than
It's-
Juice pour jour, the comedies? Or the, what's that? Just for
Just for
Laughs?
Laughs?
for
Yes,
Laughs.
it's bigger than Just for Laughs. In terms of attendance, I just found
Okay.
that out actually. So it's along English Bay in Vancouver. All these countries gather together and do fireworks festivals, and the countries compete against each other. And
I
you go
imagine America wins every time.
No.
What?
You don't. Yeah.
Do we even compete?
China does very well.
Yeah.
So you probably outsourced all your great fireworks stuff to China.
Hey, that's how we make this country great.
So, but no, I miss stuff like that. I miss like she said, I miss the seasons, but I know that the States in general has it.
Right.
But I do, and I know obviously the States has the Pacific Ocean as well. But I miss like not only all of that, but just the feeling in the air, the being able to just go outside and everybody's friendly with each other. Like I miss the multiculturalism. There we go. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I miss the multicultural aspect of just Canada in general. I grew up in when I moved out on my own there. I lived in basement suites, which are a thing that don't exist here in Texas in general.
What's a basement suite?
It's
An apartment?
in a basement.
Yeah, you basically live in somebody's like the basement of somebody's house, but it's never like it's not ever.
But they're
it's,
nice. They're
Yeah,
not-
and it's usually like the houses, at least in my neck of the woods, like they're usually the ground floor, really, because it's usually like somebody's built a second floor and they live upstairs. So it's not really like I'm going underground usually.
In other parts of the country, it is
Right.
like
Yeah.
that.
So yeah. No. That makes sense. But I miss like my landlords used to be like like Punjabi or like like they were like East Indian. I had a Mandarin a couple, and it was just they're always so friendly, and you can learn so much about everybody. And there's no, I don't know. You can go outside, you can say hi, and just be nice to people, and that's something that.
You don't feel that in
Yeah,
America.
not to the extent that you did there,
Hmm.
and so I missed that. I missed the acceptance of different cultures and people.
I don't know. What I love about this neighborhood, it's a mixed neighborhood. It's not America. You're right though. There's whole neighborhoods that just segregate themselves.
It's just a different attitude in a way. That's not to say that people aren't friendly or like accepting of differences. Certainly there are some people in the US and Canada that are not, but
Of
it's
course,
just I don't know what it is. It's a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably all that free healthcare. All right, so that was 4. What's next? Which one do you? Let's do number 5. What else?
I think
do you
you
miss
just
about
did
Canada?
4.5, at least on my end.
Yeah, I was
Healthcare.
healthcare.
That's
Yeah, I
fine.
think you just did
Healthcare?
4.5.
I miss not having to think about it. I miss just being able to go to the doctor when I need to go to the doctor,
Pull out your care card.
pull out my
Yeah.
provincial health care card, and like go
So-
home.
So let's dispel some myths, or let's ask. Right? Let's ask these questions. Have you ever been denied any healthcare service in Canada while you were in Canada? Was there ever no, the government won't provide this?
I have not been denied anything. There definitely has been. I know for like when I was a kid, you used to be able to get like a certain number of dental visits a year paid for, and they kind of like started paying for fewer and fewer of those. So you still have supplemental insurance most of the time.
Okay.
But I personally have never had anything be like denied. Even things where I was like, I think this is a thing that runs in my family, and I think maybe I should get myself checked out for it with, like a bunch of procedures and blood tests and things like that. And they were like, okay, yeah, we'll make the appointments. But I didn't pay for any of it.
No rationing.
Yeah,
It was just, let's test. Did you have to wait an extreme? Let's make the appointment.
Here's-
I knew that was going to be the next question.
I have gone to emergency rooms and had to wait quite a while, but never for anything, thankfully, that's been serious that really needed emergency attention. I do know that it's becoming difficult to find a family doctor, so you do have a lot of people waiting a long time in like clinics or going to emergency rooms because they don't have a primary care person. And then sometimes, my dad needed an MRI, and the wait was really long, so they offered to pay for it for him if he went to Quebec, or if he could go to the States and get it, and it would have been paid for by the
So
provincial health
that's
care.
why they're all coming down here for our health care. The government will actually send him to the States to get an MRI, and then he can go back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Her
okay.
experience has been.
That's a pretty good-
I guess your family's experience has been significantly worse than my own.
Really?
So I've had several times where I'm sure I'd still be paying off the debt, if I was in the States, because I blew my knee out playing football, and it swole up like crazy. I had to have surgery because the tendons that held my kneecap in place were
Wait,
loose.
football like soccer?
No, like football, like American football.
You play American football?
Wait, was
again?
it
No,
Canadian football?
I was just gonna say no, it wasn't American football, but I was thinking like it was It was a CFL rules. I wasn't in the CFL.
CFL rules. What's different with CFL?
Bigger field,
And
3
fewer
downs.
downs.
Three downs.
Yeah, 3 downs, bigger field.
How big is the field? Do we know?
I don't know. I know it's bigger than the U.S. field, but anyhow, so I blew my knee out. I had to go into get surgery on it. They did. It was a same day surgery, so it was okay. It wasn't like terrible.
But they got to you same day.
They got to me same
you
day.
blew out your knee. They
Yeah.
got you just,
And-
and I bet they gave you painkillers in the meantime.
Oh yeah, I was fine. Like I mean, I was on crutches and I had the cast and stuff, but it was fun and didn't cost me a dime. I almost lost my eye playing hockey.
Yikes.
Literally, I still have like a very light scar. If it had been like a centimeter lower, I was told that I probably would have lost my eye. So I remember it was great though, because like I got hit in the face because the person in front of me was very careless with their stick, and dropped to the ground, and I pull my hands away from my face, and they're just caked in blood, and there's a puddle of blood, and it was so surreal. And like I remember getting up, and they were like rushing me off, and I remember I stopped. I was like, wait, and I like forced them to get into the locker room so I could like see my face, because I have to see how this looks, and I looked like it was just great. There was just blood all over. I was like, if this was like back in the day before like everybody had like some sort of smartphone, they'd be like click click click, because I would have pictures of that. That'd be everywhere. It'd be great. But it was the one shining moment there. But that was same thing. And then I had a patch on my eye. I had to walk around with a patch for like 6 months, but that was paid for. That was great. Never had any problem.
Did you pay $20 when you went in?
No, nothing was like nothing was bad at all. And then I remember
at all.
a girlfriend that I had for about 4 years, she doubled over in pain one day. Her appendix almost burst, and she got rushed in, and they dealt with that straight same day. There.
So that's why you said you've gone and you've had to wait a while. So if
Right,
you're going
'cause
with
I'm
something
there for,
kind of
like,
minor,
A
then
sprained whatever, right? And somebody comes in doubled over in pain whose appendix is burst. Obviously, you're going to get to that person
Right.
first.
But like,
Yeah.
how long did you have to wait?
A couple hours.
So
Yeah.
it's comparable to our emergency.
Yeah,
room
like
in
it's
that
not any
case.
Totally
different from
different.
going to the emergency room here.
Yeah, and she's
oh,
right.
except
it is,
when you leave,
Except that you don't pay for it.
yeah, you're not paying for it. For the
you
next
pay
4
for
years.
it with taxes.
Yeah.
Now, what do the income taxes look like in Canada?
It's progressive income tax. If you make over a certain... And the other thing to remember, too, is the healthcare is administered by the provinces, so different provinces...
So each state, the equivalent of states.
Right.
Okay.
So
Province or
each
territory.
there's the Canada Health Act. Canada Health Act. You have to have a baseline of services covered. So no matter where you are in Canada, everyone will have this minimum level of
yeah.
threshold of coverage.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the provinces can decide if they want to cover additional things and how they want to do that.
Okay.
In Ontario, I believe if you make above a certain amount in income, you pay a healthcare premium.
Okay.
Just an additional $1,000 or $1,500 or something
A year.
a year on your annual taxes.
But
Yeah.
but I will say that is often one of the big attacks against the Canadian healthcare system is, you're going to have to wait for ages. That's not really true.
So it
You're going
hasn't
to have
been
to
your
pay
experience.
through the nose. And I never recall, I mean, I don't know the exact percentage of taxes I was paying, to be perfectly frank, but I never recall going, oh my God, I wish I lived in the States, because like the
Yeah.
taxes here are just astronomical. I'll also point out that
Canada's a significantly poorer country than America, too.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
the
wouldn't-
average income in Canada is lower when adjusted for the exchange rate.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I would disagree on that. So, like, let's move into the education field. Teachers make more in Canada than they do in the States.
Sure.
Let's go to just kind of like
But I mean, the
minimum wage jobs.
But the
pay
GDP
more.
of Canada is much smaller. And
Yeah.
the per capita
Well-
GDP is smaller.
No, I wouldn't be so sure about. Obviously, the GDP. I mean, we're like 10% of your population,
Right.
so that makes sense. But I wouldn't say that the per capita one, that would surprise me. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
would be very surprised by.
You know
that.
what we'll do? You and I will start in the clip. We'll fact check all this in the comments.
Well, we are going to fact check this.
We're gonna
Sure.
fact check the heck out of this. All right. So the healthcare.
But yeah, like after living here, because I lived in the U.S. As a kid for a little while too, so I didn't really, deal with any of this. But having lived in both countries as an adult, y'all are just crazy. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be this way.
It doesn't have to.
It does not have to be this way.
And I get no, because you guys, it's not like they're treating everybody up there with leeches.
Yeah, see,
Right.
we funnel
It's
our money
modern
to
healthcare.
education and
And healthcare.
healthcare, and you funnel your money to the military.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's
So-
got to keep Canada safe.
Yes, because, the U.S. military is beating back the hordes trying to enter Canada.
Hey, we'll see what happens on the 9th.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not that you don't have supplemental insurance. Like when I was in university, I had insurance,
same. Yeah,
as
same.
a student to help pay for like dental and prescriptions and whatever. But prescription costs are way less.
cheaper.
When you get glasses in Canada, are they manufactured in Canada? Probably.
I don't, probably not.
The problem
Yeah,
is
it's
because in
probably
America,
China, to be honest with you.
Luxottica controls almost all of it.
I don't know.
I've
Yeah.
I had a pair of glasses in Canada, but I don't recall
Oh.
where they were made.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they weren't made in China. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I just
Like
went to
these were
Lens
made in
Crafters.
Italy.
Yeah. Oh, we getting fancy.
No, these are made like most of the glasses in the
Louis Vuitton.
world are made by this company called Luxottica. They own Sunglass Hut, they own Pearl Vision and Lens Crafters, and they own most of those mall optical places. And so they own Sunglass Hut, and they own Ray-Ban, and they own Oakley, and all of the name brand sunglasses. It's this one single corporation that owns them. So these, they weren't free, but these were the ones I wanted because Jack Kennedy used to wear them. But these were made in Italy, and most like yours, you didn't go to a Luxottica place when you got yours, but yeah, there's a couple other options floating around that you'll see ads for, but yeah, it's this single company in Italy that controls the vast market in America. I wonder if it's the same in Canada. Maybe not if they're paying for it.
Well, I don't know if that vision generally isn't paid for by the provinces anymore. I don't think, unless you're a kid.
I never had too much. I have a very light prescription, so I never dabbled too much
Yeah.
in it. You probably know more than I do.
Yeah, I don't think that Ontario pays for vision anymore maybe for kids. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
So that's all done with private insurance. But like,
So there's still room for corporations to profit. It's a win-win. All right. So that's our top. Those are our 5 things.
is there anything you think?
I think of it just a special shout out to the SkyTrain system.
Well, we got
I don't know
a
about
whole shout out section.
Ontario-wise,
We got a
but-
whole shout out section.
But for things that I miss,
Oh.
shout out to that because I don't know.
Ontario's got
I don't-
Toronto's got a tough problem with their public transit
Yeah,
system.
Yeah.
Vancouver does not, and I miss the SkyTrain system and how easy it was to get around. So yeah, I miss that.
SkyTrain.
And now we're in Austin, where our whole transit idea is, hey, make the road a little wider.
So, fun little fact: I moved here
Yeah.
when I was 28, and had never had a driver's license in my life.
Right?
Yeah, and now I have a car, and I have to drive because you can't get anywhere here without a car.
no,
Right.
I mean you can do it by bus. Greg was
No, you
riding
can't.
the bus.
No, you
It's
can't.
hard.
You can
It
get to a
takes
very
forever.
you
It
can-
takes
On the bus.
forever. That's what it is.
Because
No,
I
you
was
can get
doing
around
that for
on
a long
bus.
time. I did that for the first 3 years I lived here.
Really?
Was on the
Jeez.
bus. First, I worked within walking distance of my apartment, and then that became too expensive because the rents were too expensive. And then I was doing an hour on the bus each way
Wow.
to go like 4 miles.
I bought a
Because-
scooter.
Wow.
I bought a little moped because that only had it was a 30cc one because I was assured I did not need a license for it.
49cc.
Yeah,
Anything
so-
under 40,
yeah.
anything under 50.
So I got like a 30 whatever it was cc. It was
But you
like, it
actually
was
still need a driver's license to drive it.
Oh, I was told that I didn't, so I.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I didn't actually get it until after I had
Yeah,
finished my
proper
driver's
documents.
license.
Absolutely.
And
This was
everything
over
that I
7 years
needed,
ago.
yeah, it's
Absolutely.
but then that didn't work because when you can only go like when you're capping out at 30 miles an hour and you're going downhill, I found that American drivers are not very patient.
No, we are not. And especially in Texas. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Texas, the drivers here, because I grew up in the Northeast, which is home of some of the craziest people on the road. It's a competitive sport up there. There's a highway up there where it's marked 55. If you do 55, you're getting tail-ended. The average flow of traffic is about 75 down this. And so then every once a month, the state troopers go out and they'll go radar. Ding, 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 ding. Hey, there's my quota. I'm going to go take the rest of the month off. So,
Yeah, but I got my driver's license here when I was 28. As
28?
well, and I had not had one since I was 18 and living in Chile. So
Yeah.
I just
So,
never needed
there you
it.
go. It's a cultural difference right there. Both
Yeah.
of
so
us.
Canadians don't drive as often. Or
Well, I think
that's
it's just
at a
easier to
lower
get
rate.
around, so it's not a necessity of life.
If you're living in an urban center, there's generally adequate
Yeah, and
Wow.
I mean, like
That's
90%
pretty
of
blanket
Canada's
statement, but-
population lives within 100 miles of the border
Yeah.
of the U.S. border. So I mean, like we're all very densely populated.
You're all
So-
you're all lined up at the border, ready to invade.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mhm.
And thank goodness your military is protecting everybody else from coming in.
Right.
So you're distracted. So just
Hey,
wait.
listen.
Although depending on what happens, in the next couple weeks, we might be building our own wall.
Exactly.
Exactly. Somebody
Oh,
wanted me
so
to ask
happens.
if
Never
we
know.
if we could have Canada build a wall along our northern border and pay for it, but that'll come up in our Ask a Canadian section. So, all right. So what's next?
Technically, you were just asking Canadians.
Yeah.